Welcome back to the channel. So you know what, by now we all know the Haslab has been revealed, the new Transformers 40th anniversary project. However, I want to take a second to go over my own reactions on what happened on January 30th. The Transformers team showed up featuring B-Mac and Evan, and they went through everything we needed to know about the new Omega Prime Robots in Disguise Haslab project. I just wanted to take a few minutes to go over my own reactions to it. So they wasted no time. As soon as the show started, they jumped right in. Boom, Haslab reveal and showing all the pictures, and it was pretty cool. So there's some good and there's some bad here when we get down to it, okay? So first of all, let's get it right out of the way. The figure is amazing. So, like, once again, they have not had any misses on these Haslab projects, and the figure is amazing. So that's put to aside. The figure's amazing. Do wonder if their kind of communication was a little rough on this whole project. I do feel there's a lot of fans out there that do feel that something went wrong with the communication on what was perceived that fans might figure that they would get from this Haslab project. Basically, and it starts right from the beginning. Right as soon as the stream, I used the intro in this video as well. As soon as the stream starts, you've got the awesome Transformer logo sweep in, and you've got the 40th anniversary logo pop on the screen with the Generation 1 audio in the background from the theme song. And of course, as soon as the stream starts, you got Evan and B-Mac sitting there waiting for you to address the audience, and they both have Generation 1 inspired shirts on. Evan has Optimus Prime and B-Mac has, you know, the Generation 1 Autobot logo. As a person who does enjoy the 40th anniversary line so far, I was going into this stream thinking that we were going to get something Generation 1 themed. And you know what? There was some rumors going around on the web. Basically, somebody came up with the idea that maybe that they would possibly retool Unicron into a Primus, and he's kind of Generation 1 because he's kind of what started it all. And I actually even mentioned in the previous video that I did on the channel, because when they announced the Haslab, I had my own speculation, and that's what I thought it was going to be. But when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter what they announced. They did a good job with the product they did announce. It's just that I think a lot of people, including myself, went into the stream with the idea that it was going to be some kind of Generation 1 product. So, you know, maybe a super deluxe Soundwave. Actually, I don't even know what it was. I was just sitting there waiting for it to be revealed. And when the Omega Prime came on the screen, I kind of felt disappointed, and I don't know. I felt let down in a way, because Robots in Disguise, the 2001 series, is kind of a weird one for me. It was actually the first series that I got into collecting when I was an adult. Basically, when I was going to university, I would have to get the bus home, and the bus would stop at the mall. There was a Walmart there. I would go into the Walmart and wait for the next bus to come, and sometimes it would be an hour. So you'd wander around Walmart. I'd often end up in the toy section, and during this time is when Robots in Disguise first came out, around 2001. I'm not really sure the month. It's around then. And what drew me to Robots in Disguise was that a lot of the first figures were like smaller figures, like the Ruination figures, which were Generation 1 inspired repaints. So, you know, I started in on getting a couple of those and got some Spy Changers. But then later on, you know, some of the other bigger figures came out, like the Brothers, Optimus Prime, and, you know, Ultra Magnus, Scourge. Anyways, it was a great series. But it was 20 years ago, and when you're talking 40 years of Transformers, it's not necessarily the first series that pops in my mind when these Haslab projects are supposed to be these big, epic things that you can never get. And the thing for me, once again, this is totally focused on myself, so I apologize. The thing for me is that I actually still have the original Omega Prime in my case, which you can't see, it's off screen right now. And so for me, I was like, well, you know, my Omega Prime is in mint condition. It's in my case. It's still good. I don't really need to replace it with basically a one-for-one replacement done in modern technologies. I mean, it's upscaled a little bit. Basically, you're getting 2 Commander class figures in the Optimus Prime, Fire Truck Optimus Prime, and the car carrier Ultra Magnus. And of course, you get the little guy, the Blue Bolt, the little gun that transforms into a robot now. That's kind of cool. But basically, for me, I'm thinking sitting there the whole time, I'm like, I already have this character. So I feel like for me as a collector, that this Haslab was kind of a, a disappointment, a little bit of a waste. That's just me personally. There are a lot of more Transformer collectors out there that I'm sure that are in love with this character. And when you break it down, so I think as of filming this video, the last time I checked, the backers was at like 50%. It was like between 4,000 and 5,000. Maybe it had reached 6,000. I'm not really sure. I didn't check it before I started this video. I checked it earlier in the day. It's well on its way to be funded. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. If you look at the actual figures, the Fire Truck Optimus Prime, which they did an amazing job sculpting him. He's a little taller than the original. He's super detailed, and he's going to be so badass, and they really nailed it. Like, it looks like basically they just totally upscaled what they had done in the original figure and just made it better in every way. And so that's really cool. And it's Commander class, so that's a big offering. And when you look at Ultra Magnus, it's the same thing as well. Basically, it looks like a 1-for-1 offering of the original, but basically just upscaled to make it a lot bigger. I think they did an amazing job. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be funded. Now, let's talk about those tiers for a second. I do think some of the tiers are a little weak. First one with obviously the big sword, perfect. You would never normally get that in the box. It wasn't available with the original figure. So that's something new to add to the Omega Prime, to expand it, to push it forward. That is a great little addition. And I do think if we do get to 10,000 to get it back, I do think you will get probably to the 13,000 to get the sword, because, that is a great addition. Now, what I am worried about is that second tier. That second tier is a dual pack of display stands for your figures. I think that's a little weak. I don't know if that's enough to push it to the 16,000 to get it to the next tier. It's kind of cool how they combine and you can make a road. It's cool that they can be used individually. It's not enough to be like, oh wow, I have to. It's at 14,000. I have to back it now to get this stand. Will it get there? I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance they'll get there. Do they have, potentially a third tier that they might, it's in trouble, let's put a third tier to try to push it on? I don't know. We've seen other things like the Sky Striker, the G.I. Joe Sky Striker Haslab, and I feel like this Omega Prime almost falls into the same category as that G.I. Joe Sky Striker. The G.I. Joe Sky Striker Haslab project, it had trouble getting funded. It did get funded, but it was a slow burn. And I do feel like it was like that because all the other Haslab projects before it were these wild, crazy things that you had never seen before, that was not possible. And when the Sky Striker showed up, it was basically like a 1-for-1 of the original Sky Striker, made a little better with a few accessories and a display stand. For the price, I don't think people were really that impressed with it. It was a slow burn. It got funded, but it was, it wasn't a hot sell. And even in the aftermarket, I've seen people on forums, like, they ordered 4 or 5 of them. People got kind of stuck with them. They thought they'd be able to resell them, and they weren't able to. And they've been heavily discounted since. You can still find those pretty easy, I think. If you look hard enough, you'll be able to find them. I sort of feel the same way for the Omega Prime. It is a cool addition. A lot of collectors might want to add because maybe they weren't around when the 2001 original one came out. They aren't able to add it. Maybe it's too expensive, the current version. I actually don't even know what the current aftermarket price is for the Omega Prime, but I'm assuming it's expensive. And they find one in good condition and complete. This project opens up the ability to get this to newer collectors or even collectors that just missed it. So that is a great way for this Haslab to be looked at. However, when you step back, it's still kind of just a 1-for-1 remake, if you want to say, use a better word, of the original release. I don't know if it's as exciting as maybe something else could have been, and I think that's where a lot of collectors have a problem. They're anticipating something super exciting and that they just had to have. And, you've got a lot of people out there that are fans of Transformers for a long time, but Robots in Disguise might not have been there, on their top 5 Transformer series. There's a lot of different series. They're big, huge fans of the Unicron trilogy, which is 3 shows. Generation 1, throw some of the other ones in there. Robots in Disguise doesn't really pop out as maybe one of their favorites. So they're a little disappointed that, this new Haslab project, which that means like we're not going to get another Haslab project for over a year, right? They're a little disappointed that their Haslab project that they had built up in their head is not something that they're interested in. Now, me personally, I've already said, I have the original. It's in good condition. It's in my glass case. It's complete. I have no plans to back the Omega Prime. I don't see myself backing it because it didn't spark my interest enough. It's super cool. It's super detailed. It's super articulated. And it's going to make an amazing piece to a lot of people's collection. But me personally, I don't see adding it to my collection when I don't really need it. What do you guys think? Like, do you plan on backing this Omega Prime? Were you happy with the announcement when it went live? I mentioned before, I was a little disappointed. I almost wanted to turn off the stream. But you know what? I fought that disappointment. I was like, no, I'm going to watch the stream. And it was an awesome stream. They did a very good job communicating what you're getting, how it's going to be and stuff, and what to expect. So they did a good job. But in the end of the day, the Omega Prime is not for me. And I hope, though, there's a lot of collectors out there that are able to back it and are happy with it when they do get it in 2025. So make sure you check out one of our other videos and basically, hit subscribe, maybe hit the like button. We're on our way to like 2,300 subscribers and we do videos and shorts weekly. So make sure you come back and watch some more. Thanks for watching. Bye.